The dojo was still the old house where his father lived in. And it was a huge house, basically. There was a dojo in it, and everywhere was another door. There's the changing room, the locker room, there's the showers, there's the heating, there's the parking lot, there's the makiwara, there is the private rooms, and you can go upstairs. And there was a study room of Nagamine Shoshin Sensei where he wrote his books and where he collected all his writings and research material. And you know, this was a wooden house. So right at Kokusaitori, 1, 2, next lane, second lane, afterward there was a house. Kokusaitori is like the main boulevard in Okinawa. It's beautiful in a sense, it's very lively. There's so many shops. It's one huge street, just with everything for tourists, everything what you can imagine. It starts at the it starts at the prefectural office, and it's just in a very interesting street. And there was the house, because some time back in 40, 60 years ago or so, when the place was still a swamp, I think, they built a house, a wooden house. So then in Okinawa, it's subtropical, right? Right. And I found out later, when I passed by some bookstores, that they have a special bookworm, like not the bookworm like me, like a guy who likes to read books or write books, but an actual worm. And these, I'm sorry, I'm for the wing, sorry. And these worms, they are so huge, and they have eaten away, I would say, 1/20 of the books in Nagamine Sensei's old study.
Wow.
So I had to rescue it. The rest was there and clean up. So I talked to Sensei and said, look, there's this and that, and you know, I have to do something, and you need to call the guys. And he said, yeah, okay, do that. And there were many books destroyed, like like this. I'll show you. Like this is. It's not that I'm so small. It's the book is so big, you know. This is a big Uechi-ryu book. It's 1,400 pages or something, and with all kata in it and stuff, and it's a collector's item. And there's a paper box with around it, like 4 or 5 kilos or so, and it was eaten by these worms. But I cleaned it up, and then I got 2 like you know, trash plastic. Yeah, like that, and so I cleaned it out. There were many interesting things in that study of Nagamine Sensei. For example, the drawings of Matsumura. I think these were the originals that were printed sometime in some magazine. So that was one. You said I can tell a weird story, because that was something when I was shocked, because Takayoshi, the son of the older sensei, he didn't care about the writing. He had his international association, he had the training, so he probably didn't visit the study. But for me, as a researcher, it was very important to visit the study. So I made a lot of copies, and I found notebooks of Nagamine, and of course I asked his son if I can, it's okay if I make copies of it and make photos of it, and he said yes, of course. Wow. And I still have a lot of material which I have not yet cited. But there's so many interesting things, like for example, there's a Bojutsu style. You know, the Bojutsu is a long stick, like 6 feet stick, 6 foot stick, and there's a famous master, and Nagamine interviewed him. And there are basically like 2 or 3 branches who claim, yeah, we were taught the original and full curriculum by the sensei. And then you look, and then you find this this interview, which he did with the person, and there's a detailed description of. I'm sorry, I'm wiggling again. I hope you don't get nauseous. And there's a detailed description of the kata and the Kihon techniques that he taught.
Yeah.
And none of the 3 branches of students that claimed they had the original teaching of him had any of that, right? So it's basically, it's funny, it's interesting, and yeah. So honestly, I had some of the happiest days or weeks or month of my life in Okinawa. There's some old kata and there's some newer kata. Usually the newer kata, they're the brutal ones because they are maybe from the first part of the 20th century, when they tried to, how can I say, evaluate the experiences of trench warfare, things like that. So that's where Teko come from. That's where Manchisai come from. Your Manchisai, completely unnecessary. Sai from old Ryukyu Kingdom time, they have a blunt end, okay, not a sharp end. You don't want to kill someone with it. It's your own people that you want to police a little bit. You want to hold someone back, you know, but you don't want to kill him, right? That's one point that's, I think, sometimes important. You got to know what you train for. That's what Itozu Anko said, one of the founders of modern karate. You got to define what you train for. Of course, when you train for law enforcement, when you're a bandit, you're going to train differently than someone, right? Bandits also train. And that's why I never liked the Iaido. And also I watched the guys and said, what are they doing? Do they know what they're doing themselves? I don't know. But then I saw Hamamoto Sensei and I fell in love with what he did. Also because the first 10 or 20 kata did not start from kneeling. So he's also a very good salesman, that he knows that, you know, show them the standing and walking kata and running kata first, and afterwards, when you got them hooked, right, you can teach them to see the seisa kata, and that's what he did. And but he also does cutting, which is very interesting.